What is up guys, RandomPlayz here, and welcome back to another benchmark for the Ryzen 3 2200G and RX 580 build. So in today's video I am going to be benchmarking Fortnite because it was requested by a fellow viewer of ours, 7W Bunnies. So I want to say thank you so much for that, 7W Bunnies. I really appreciate your requests. So like I already said, today we are going to be benchmarking Fortnite in the lowest settings and in the highest settings at 1080p. And the reason why I'm gonna do both the lowest settings and the highest settings is so y'all could get an idea of how it would perform on medium and high settings. But before we get into that, I do want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Unrecognized. I'm honestly not sure how you pronounce that, but you spell it UNRCGNZD. And I'm gonna leave a link to his channel in the description, so I need you guys to do me a favor and please go subscribe to his channel, show him some love, support him. He does do some reaction videos and gameplays and try not to laugh, so I really recommend his content. Check him out, link in the description. So now that I have that out of the way, I do want to point a couple things out before we jump into the FPS. So first thing I want to point out is that if you look at your top left corner of the screen, you will be able to see the FPS and the metrics. But when you're looking at that, please keep in mind that I am recording, and the recording will impact the FPS and the metrics. Second thing I want to point out is that there is a setting that says allow multi-threaded rendering, and I need you guys to take that off or just turn it off for me completely, because it will completely ruin your FPS. When I had that enabled, I was literally running at 6 FPS, 14 FPS. It was very terrible and horrible, completely unplayable. But once I took that off, it actually started performing much better. So if you guys are gonna play this game in this $500 gaming PC, then I really do need you guys to take that off, because it will completely ruin your FPS. So now that we have that covered, let's jump into the FPS. So here in the background, I am playing in the lowest settings. This gameplay right here, I'm again playing in the lowest settings. So I'll show you a picture of my settings right now. And as you can see, I do have everything completely low. Everything is at low except for the resolution. The resolution is still at 1080p. So let's get into the FPS. So starting off with the lowest settings, the highest FPS was a 375, the average FPS was a 126, and the lowest FPS was a 14. Now, as I usually say this, the lowest FPS was actually in the loading screen. In game, the lowest I saw it go to was like a 32. It was like around the low 30s, but yeah, that was just in the loading screen. So as you just saw, I now have my settings at epic settings, the highest settings maxed out at 1080p, and I still have multi-threaded rendering disabled. Again, you don't need that at all, it's just gonna ruin your FPS. So now here in the background, I am now playing in epic settings, and you could just see that the difference is really big. It's like night and day. The game now looks much more sharper. The game clearly looks more crisp, more color. It's just way better. So now let's jump into the FPS for epic settings. So in epic settings, the highest FPS was a 533. the average FPS was a 71 and the lowest FPS was a 26. Now once again, the highest FPS this time was in the loading screen. The 533 was in the loading screen. In game, the highest I saw it go to was like in the low 90s or in the high 80s. So yeah. So as you can see, Fortnite performs really good in this system and this $500 gaming PC. It is just spectacular, and I would actually recommend for you guys to play at epic settings or high settings, because as you saw, low settings was just really terrible. The graphics were just horrible. But if you really want more FPS, then I would recommend for you guys to play at medium settings, just so the game won't look horrible, but you'll still get that FPS boost. But again, I would recommend for you guys to play in epic settings. It plays completely fine, completely playable, and it just makes the game look much better. So I don't know if you guys were able to tell, but I am garbage at this game. I do not play this game at all. So, but I was actually doing really good the first time where I got 6 kills. That was just insane for me. I've never done that good in Fortnite. Yeah, I just don't play this game at all. But of course, it was completely worth it. It was completely worth it installing this game just so I could make a video for you guys. And once again, thank you so much for the request, 7W Bunnies. Really appreciate that. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to request any other game, please let me know down in the comments below, and I promise I will make a video on it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a like, and consider subscribing, because I will keep making more benchmarks for the $500 gaming PC right here. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.